Hello, friends. I'm George.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Carrie.
This is Movies Are Real for the month of... What month is this? Well, we're talking about September. It's October. We do this podcast, right?
Wait,
this movie,
what?
We do this movie podcast that you are
recording this?
that you are listening to
I
right
thought it
now.
was a private thing.
Yeah, we do this podcast, and we always talk about the movies of the previous month, and then we talk about the movies that are coming out. And it always has been this weird limbo where I don't know what fucking month it is. But it is October now. We're going to be talking about the movies of September. We didn't see many, which is why we're going to be doing a little weird thing. We're going to be talking about some horror movies because it is October. We're going to recommend some horror movies because it's Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
So yeah, we're going to discuss 2 movies from September that we saw. Actually, one, because the other one was from October. But since we're a little late, we're going to talk about it. So yeah, we're going to each recommend a horror movie. Maybe even, shoot the shit a little and just throw out some other quick recommendations. Who knows where this will go. And then we'll talk about the releases of October. But let's get into it. Let's talk about the one movie in September that we saw. The Blair Witch, which I was really excited for. I think we were all...
I was very excited for this.
You're super hyped for it.
And I feel like I was the only one who was satisfied after the movie.
Yeah. So let's start. Geez. This thing was known as Adam Wingard's The Woods before it became Blair Witch. Sometime, I think like in the midsummer, early in the summer. It was revealed when press got to see the film. Adam Wingard, I'm a big fan of Adam Wingard's work. I love Your Next. I like The Guest. I am not crazy about that one short he did in VHS. I think that was a weak one.
In his defense, it's hard to top the other ones in there.
Sure.
Because they were, it was good, but, it compared to, demons flying everywhere.
Right,
and
yeah.
aliens, it's hard to really have more realistic...
There's spooky eyeballs.
Spooky eyeball, he fucks a girl. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man.
So yes, Blair Witch reboot. And it's not even a reboot, actually.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel, but you would think it would be a reboot with the marketing and stuff. But once you watch it, it is a direct sequel to the first one, not to Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
That does not exist.
Which does not exist. I don't know much about that film, but I've seen clips of it, and I was like, wow, this is something else. I gotta tell you what.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that movie is that everyone hates it a lot, and you just don't watch it.
It's because it has little to nothing to do with the Blair Witch, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween 3 if Halloween 3 was trash.
It's also filmed normally.
Yeah, it's a normal movie.
Which is weird because the found footage is what defined Blair Witch, so it's that's such a ridiculous thing to do.
Yeah, it's just a normal ass movie. So let's talk about this. So where do we start with this? So we talked about our impressions for that, right? So our cold, Ryan, you enjoyed it.
I loved this movie. Maybe that's because for a bit everyone else seems to hate it, so I
You just want to be contrarian.
I'm trying to fight the system, but I generally really like this movie, and when leaving the theater I was like, that was a good scary time, and it actually kind of mixed up my nerves a bit. It didn't. Some of the early stuff saying it was really terrifying, people had a hard time sleeping. I never had that same issue because I felt like its very end wasn't very it didn't hit you hard at the very end like a lot of horror movies do, but it does have this constant stress and anxiety throughout it that just builds up, especially in the last 30 minutes. I felt, and generally I was it's very tense and very good. Right. Yeah. Everyone else hates it.
Yeah, right. I'm internet pals with someone who works at Blade Discussing. He was at the premiere, and he fucking loved it to crazy. I was like, oh, wow, that's exciting. But I walked out being pretty disappointed with this. Carrie, you sounds like you disliked it more than I did.
I just really didn't like it.
It's just a bad time.
Because I liked the original one a lot, and then this one just... I don't know, because I really like found footage horror movies, but this one kept doing really annoying things. Every single time it cut to a new shot, it would have a noise, or it always had people walking up behind you going, hey, what are you doing? And even though they tried to be she called it out at the end, it's yeah, but you're still doing it a lot. I don't know, I just didn't care for it.
Yeah, so let's jump in. So like you said, this is a direct sequel to the first one. So we have the brother of Heather, who was the lead. They were doing this video project for their school thing, right? If I remember correctly, and she was the lead of that group. And she went missing. They never found a body or whatever the hell, and he's still kind of convinced that she's still alive.
Yeah, he like has this internet stuff set up to like kind of track these like woods because he's convinced that she's still out in there because they never found her, and it's a huge like woods area. So they're like he's led to believe through like 15, 14 years without seeing his sister that she's still alive. Just total denial.
Right, and then he finally meets in this internet forum these two folks who tell him, "Oh, hey, we'll be your guide or whatever the hell to this thing."
Yeah, he stumbles across this footage that he says like, "I think my sister is in this footage."
Blair Witch.zone.
Blair Witch.zone, yeah. So then he's like, "We got to go out there and see if she's there."
And they all decided to get a crew and everything because what's the relation? So there's a female character, and what's her relation? There's a main other like central female character in this movie, and I don't remember what relation she was to the brother.
Her name was Lisa.
Lisa.
Right? Yeah.
They weren't like. Were they together?
Were, like, will they? Won't they? Together.
Right.
Kinda, yeah.
And she's doing wants to do a video project of this thing.
She's doing a documentary about like loss and like people who like were separated from people they loved without like being able to say goodbye, and you read more about that like on the online like advertising, which by the way the advertising for this movie is dope as hell. They had a Kickstarter for this movie of like the girl's movie that she was making, and like you can see like all the characters in the movies like interacting with each other. It's like that's so cool, and you like get to know more about her.
I feel like it didn't work as well as they thought.
It did not work as well.
Did not work as well as they planned it.
It was.
I was shocked.
I feel like with both Blair Witch movies, like the hype around the movie outside of the movie is way more effective than the actual movie. Because it's like in the first one, everyone was like, "Was that real? Oh my god!" And then they were listed as missing on their IMDb pages, and there was that really cool internet presence. And then this one does the same thing with I didn't know about stuff like that, or revealed as the Blair Witch movie. So it's like the stuff that they do around it is really cool, but then the movies are still okay, but can't live up to that.
Well, like jumping right into the beginning. What I thought was so cool about this is like this movie exists in a world where Blair Witch Project came out, but it was actually real, and people were like, "What the hell is with this footage?" Because they talk about like they found the footage in this house, but it doesn't match up with the house that was in the footage. So they watched this movie, and it was a real thing that happened, and they were all like, "What the hell?" So they go out searching, but they find nothing, and then that kind of morbid curiosity fuels these kids for 15 some years, and it just like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I do like the idea like this is a thing. Yeah, right. Like that tape released and people know about it. It's a thing. But it doesn't do anything interesting. It's the whole thing. So they go into the woods with these two weird people. Who knows? I don't know. And they go and
uploaded the video.
Yeah. And there's
a group of 6 wacky kids wandering through the forest.
And then some scares happen, and then they get into the Blair Witch zone, whatever the hell, and I'm skipping a lot because I can't really tell. There's not like major key like moments in the film that either separate it or distinguish it like at all to me. Like they meet the people, they go to the thing. These people, I don't trust them. Oh, guess what? We shouldn't trust them. Fuck these guys. Let's go back. Oh shit, this place is haunted. What the hell? We can't get out of here. And then things go really bad. And then
madness.
And then goes absolutely crazy. And then we get to the end of the film, which I think is the most interesting part of it. And I don't think there's anything really interesting there. None of the characters are fascinating or even funny or charming. I'm trying to think. I don't think I like anyone in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just keep. I'm having a hard time. There's nothing. Ryan, you like this movie. I have a hard time saying anything interesting about it because I don't think it's that interesting.
So about the characters, I agree that they're not as developed as they should, and I feel like this movie would have been a lot better if they spent like. Because it feels like in the movie they spend like one night in the woods and then it goes to hell real quick.
Right, but Blair Witch. Right,
but in the original Blair Witch,
it feels like a while.
It
feels like
a few nights. It feels like gradually built up, and that worked out better.
That did work out better.
The 3 characters better. They went insane together gradually. But in this one, they kind of all just went crazy. Like
it takes a fucking while
at one certain point. I feel like if they took like just another night, like, you know, they hear a bunch of noises, and they're like, huh, that was weird. There's no such thing as a Blair Witch, though, so let's just keep going. And then, like, the other crazy thing happens. And then they're like, actually, you know, screw these guys, we're out of here. Then that would have given them more time to, like, learn about everyone. And, yeah, that is an issue, but there are subtle cues onto everyone's personalities and their relationships with each other through, like, just little jokes and humor that they have, which they're not, like... It's not like gold standard writing or anything, but it gives you just enough.
I think it's like the bare minimum.
Just enough of a window to let you know who these people are. But what gets me, like, in this movie, like, gets me, like, super involved is because, like, I grew up and I saw the Blair Witch. And these kids are, like, they're basically us, the viewers, who are want to go back.
Yeah, totally.
They want to go back into the woods to see what the hell this thing really is.
They might as well, because they're in this universe where this movie or whatever the hell exists.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, that at least the first time I saw it, I didn't really think about, oh, these characters, they're not as developed, because I felt like I was really, like, part of the movie with them, just kind of exploring this wild roller coaster ride of, like, what the hell's going on. And I get that the characters should be more developed, because that's one thing I really like. We're going to talk about developed characters. And the Train movie we watched, that has some really developed characters, and I really like that. But for this, it just feels like a ride, like a very good ride through scary, spooky zone.
I don't want to detract too much, but the way you're describing it, I didn't think about it that way, and that is really cool. It makes me think of the Grave Encounters sequel. Did either of you see that?
No.
So Grave
I know
Encounters
you're talking about.
is the found footage movie, and then in the second Grave Encounters, they're like, this Grave Encounters movie is crazy. We got to go back to that same asylum. So it reminds me of that.
It also reminds me of Scream, but this seems way more interesting than what Scream did.
The first Scream
did very
well.
Right,
the
yeah.
second and
But I'm saying
third kind of derailed.
that's the one where they're like, oh, this thing exists, and we're going to make a movie on it called Stab, or whatever the fuck it's called.
I really hate Scream 3.
And it's not good.
It's very bad.
Carrie, do you have anything? So you're on my side. I don't like this thing. Do you have anything actually valid or interesting to say? Because I can't say anything that it's not good.
I mean,
like the scary.
There were moments of it that I really, 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 really liked, but the rest of the movie I just didn't like at all. So those moments aren't enough to bring me to this movie was okay. I just really didn't like it. But the cool moments were really cool, and I like the idea that the movie presents of them being trapped in this environment that's shifting around them and it's out of their control, and there's like a time element to it, and they're just like completely suspended in this alternate reality almost. Like, that's a really strong concept.
And I feel like you and me are being very vague, because there really, there isn't any meat on there, really. Like the scares and the moments that are important are forgettable, and you've seen them before, and they don't feel special or, like, innovative in any way. Like, I'm like...
Well, I think what that is, it moves such a quick pace where, like, it's really easy for, like, especially with the scene with Talia with, like, the doll, where she, like, that scene.
That's my favorite part.
That's a great scene, but it's very easy for that scene because it happens so quick, because everyone else is, like, arguing while the character Talia, the purple-haired lady, she's, like, freaking out about this really messed up, like, all the messed up little, like, stick figure scenes, and no one's paying attention to her.
Right.
And then, that goes to hell.
The movie forces you to pay attention to her.
Yeah, very much so. And that's really cool. And a lot of the scares in this movie are like that, where it's like, you have to really be focused in and, like, on this movie. And that was my feelings throughout it. I was really just, like, in the zone on this. But I feel like a lot of people kind of got out of it. Because of, like, the shakiness and maybe, like, the camera glitches, which I never felt like... I feel like a lot of people had a problem with the camera glitches. I never was annoyed by them. I didn't think that they didn't scare me. I just felt like it
felt like they were trying to scare you with the camera glitches, and that's annoying. But it's like, because I like found footage horror movies, but I feel like this one was more obnoxious for some reason. I don't know if that's just me being an asshole.
I don't know if it's such a dark movie, and the movement, and I don't know what it is, but you're right. There is something especially annoying about the way this thing is shot.
I think this came out at a bad time, because we just, like... got over like the Paranormal Activity series. And
I don't know.
That really hurt my feelings on found footage movies.
I think I still think the first two are great. I think they're great films.
Yeah, sure.
I love the first one so much.
Ghost Dimension was something else. And in the fourth one, there was the Connect.
The fourth one is garbage.
The fourth one is garbage.
Marked ones is hilarious.
The marked one is good.
And then there was all those
it.
like spin-off like ones like Devil's Due that did really bad, annoying stuff with found footage.
I like Devil's Due.
And then this came out like at this weird time where I think people were just sick of this concept.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I don't know, because I feel like people still hate found footage.
I think Adam Wingard and Simon, I forget his last name, are interesting. Like, they are pretty much... There are people who, like... Why would you get these motherfuckers to make a... Because they touted their names in the marketing and stuff. Like, these people are our tours, right? They know what they're doing. They have a vision and stuff. And this doesn't feel like it has any sort of message or vision at all. Like, it feels like... I don't think the tiredness of found footage would have mattered if they approached this in an interesting way. The only thing that's interesting about it is at the end, which I like. That's just me, though.
What would you define the end as? As in, like, once they, like, get into the house?
Once they get into the house, cool shit
Yeah.
starts happening.
Yeah.
They do interesting things with camera work. They do interesting things with, like, timing and pacing. And, like, it goes really out there in a way that the original never went there.
That's
so
right.
you would assume that you would hope that, like, give me a little bit more about this crazy thing.
Yeah, because, like, in the original, they get to the house, and then it's pretty much
That's it.
an
It's
abrupt
over.
end. But in this one, they explore it more, and I liked that a lot, because you get more wacky things.
More wacky adventures with the kids.
Like, my favorite moment in this movie is there's a moment. It's like for found footage movies. It's also very cliche. Like, someone tries to go through a tight space and they get stuck in it, and usually there's other people helping them out, and the person starts panicking and crying, and then something bad happens. But here she's in that moment, and it like lasts a long time. And at one point, like, nah, this is the end of the movie. She's dead, and there's just this moment where the camera just sticks on her, and she's just crying, and it's just like a long, uncomfortable moment. And then she makes it out fine. I was like, oh, that was cool. That was interesting. I liked that. That was my favorite part of that movie, I think. And then, like, some of they did really cool cuts with, like, when they're going inside the house. It moves really fast, and it's not disorientating, and it just feels cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't know. I really liked, like I said, the scene with Talia. That part's incredible. Mm-hmm. Just like her... Oh, it's so good. The part where very early on in the movie, one of the girls, Ashley, she gets she like cuts her foot on a rock while they're crossing a river, and her foot's like messed up the whole movie.
Oh, that was a good part too. I know. What
And
you're
then
doing. I know
and
what
then
you're
later
doing,
she
too.
like is examining it, and there's some spooky stuff happening with that cut. Because at first I was thinking, oh, is this movie just gonna have a real moment where like everyone else has died because of the Blair Witch, but this girl just got a bad infection from a rock in the river? Because that'd be great. But then like the second time I was watching it, I was like, no, that is a Blair Witch thing that's going on in her foot.
Yeah, but even that, I was like, okay, that's not that interesting.
Well, that
like the
moments
one,
like,
the one
moments like that freak me out with what she was doing with her foot. So that's probably why it stood out with me.
the one shot where he's looking at it and then it does a witchy thing. That was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, but it was only like a few. Like if we have a bar here and like of like stereotypical horror things, and like over here is like the forest, little Japanese girl, and that's a ghost or whatever the hell. This is only like a few notches above it. Like, it wasn't like... There was a moment for like the people in the audience to laugh. I was like, that's not fucking crazy and bizarre. What a wacky witch. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about this movie, man. I don't have much to say about it.
Let's get back to the house, because I feel like that's when we all at least liked it, at least.
I feel like a lot of people, and I'm not criticizing, but I feel like the ending of this movie is super strong. So a lot of people are walking out like, wow, that was strong. And then like the beginning part wasn't as strong or good. And so then they're basing how strong the ending was to them and like making their whole opinion of the movie on like the last 15 or 20 minutes.
It helps that a lot of found footage movies have bad endings.
I felt one of my like two like main complaints was I felt like the end, like the last like scene, I didn't particularly care for that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like... It was trying to do the first movie again where it just like ends out of nowhere, but for this it felt so like what the hell was actually behind them.
Yeah, sure, the last...
And yeah,
like the last shot is like the same, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
except she
similar.
turned... Yeah.
She was in the basement in the...
Except it's a lot
first movie
better in the first one because she doesn't say anything and she just looks and it's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And plus, they just repeat his dialogue, and it's like, I was super hoping, and I guess this might spoil it, but I really was hoping Heather would actually show up in this movie, and she would be like looking like messed up, or like, it would be even better if like she was there like, who are you? It's like, I'm your brother. Like she hadn't aged at all, and she was still just lost. I thought that would be really cool, and I thought they were gonna go there with the end, like she would just like show up like lost in time, because that's kind of how they are throughout the film.
That would be cool. If we're going into spoilers, which
we might as well.
I remember hearing something that someone said about how they were reading somewhere that the creature that is in this isn't the witch, and that it's a witch victim. So maybe that could have been
I'm thinking that was her, because, you know, the film makes the whole point of, like, if you see the Blair Witch, you die from fright. So it's, and the characters in the movie saw that creature. Yeah. So it couldn't have been the witch. It was just a messed up thing.
It was just a radish man.
It was just a weird wood demon. So I thought that, like, after I read that, I was like, okay, that is probably Heather or, like, Josh or the other one. I forget his name.
Mike, yeah.
So, yeah. And that was cool. Because I did not expect there to be a monster in this movie. And I remember they were saying, like, their initial draft, it felt more of, like, a creature feature, and they wanted to, like, kind of dial that back.
That would have...
yeah, this is a good movie. You should watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was really bummed with it. Let's move on. You guys
Look, man, last thing.
Sure.
In terms of, like, sequels to, like, a horror film, I thought this was really good. Especially, like, with the time difference.
No, I still think it's alright. It's passable. It's whatever, dog. It's not bad. Even that, I would say it's actually... depending on the day, I might say it's bad, because it's, like, so boring and uninteresting. I was like, this is nothing interesting.
I just never felt that way about it. Even the second time watching, I was still, like, so involved in it.
Oh my god, the second time watching it, I had to leave in the middle, and I had to go get some sour Skittles, because I was like, this fucking movie.
I wanted to watch it again, because I was, like, worried that, like, okay, maybe if I watch it again, maybe
then I'll realize how stupid it is.
But then I was like, man, that was still a great movie, am I right? And Carrie and Lauren were like,
Okay, so talk to me about the girl on the train. So this is based on a novel that I have no idea about, and from all the trailers, it looks incredibly Gone Girly to me.
Yeah.
It is very Gone Girly, I would say.
It's real hard to have a missing lady movie like this and not think about Gone Girl the entire time.
Especially because, I mean, Hollywood, they're obviously, Gone Girl was good. They're obviously like, hey, let's rip that off.
We need another Gone Girl. Exactly.
On the train.
Gone Girl, but on a train. Except not a lot of it really takes place on a train.
So what is this movie about?
So, Emily Blunt's character, Rachel, right? Yep. She's this 30-something-year-old woman. She's fighting depression and alcoholism, and every morning on her commute to work, she's taking the train. Mm-hmm. She's a girl. She's on a train.
On the train.
It's a pretty good premise. And it basically starts out with her, like, looking at these people's houses and, like, imagining how great their lives are compared to hers. Mm-hmm. And then, like, kind of imagining these scenarios that they have. Like, oh, she's so happy with him. He treats her so right. And then at one point, she sees something not so cool happening, and that drives her mad because she has this whole idea. She has this whole idea of, like, perfection that comes from her depression and alcoholism, and the one thing that was keeping her together was like this like house and these people in this house, and she sees this stuff and she loses it, just loses it. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
That sounds awesome. I like that idea a lot.
It is very awesome.
Because not to get real here, I get that feeling a lot sometimes about that everyone else is okay.
Yeah, because that's a thing everyone does.
Obviously, everyone else has this figured out, right?
Yeah, those people have it figured out, and the girl on the train takes a really good like premise on it. You know.
So shit's fucked up.
Yeah, reviews on this were mixed, and I really don't get.
Yeah, I heard it was very mixed.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think it was.
Wait, so what does she do? Wait, hold on. So let's take a step back.
Okay.
So she finds out shit's not good. What happens after that?
She basically gets off the train and tries to like fix it, even though she has no idea who these people are, what the situation is.
And it's like a non like linear narrative. Yeah, it jumps around a lot, but it does it in a easy enough to follow way, and you start to get perspective from the girl she's watching and another character. So you're like seeing all these things, and it's kind of it pieces itself together as more is revealed.
Yeah, it's a hugely like female driven movie. Yeah. because it's like 3 female characters and all their adventures, with the main one obviously being Emily Blunt's character, and they all come together at the end, and it's comes together pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I don't get why this is mixed. Like, I had like a few issues with it. Like, it felt like, without getting too spoilery, the like more, I guess, Gone Girl aspect of the movie.
Right, so like I'm saying, like, is there a moment in this? Because there's a moment in Gone Girl. There's like the moment where there's the first half and there's the second half. Like, stuff changes, and like you real more about these characters. Do you have moments like that?
That happens more towards like the super end.
Yeah,
and
there is a moment where you're like, oh damn, but it's near the end.
There was a few like twists.
The one that I'm
turns.
thinking of.
I think we're thinking of the same one.
Yeah, the main one.
The main one. You know the one. I mean, there were a few twists in this movie. Like, you don't... Like, all the characters, they, like... You think you have the mistake... Man, George, you're guinea pigs.
Sorry.
Your guinea pigs are going wild.
We record next to our guinea pigs because I have not a lot of room to record, and they're just going at it.
They really
They
did not like
loved
this movie. They're going
Anyways,
wild.
what are you talking about, Ryan?
Lots of twists and turns.
Lots of twists and turns.
Are they interesting, though? Like, do they come out...
I'd say they're all interesting.
Okay.
They're all fair. Especially Emily Blunt's ones that do with, like, her mental state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Carrie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I'm thinking maybe a few... Because it has to do with her depression. And I feel like a lot of movies that deal with that, critics are very, like, I guess, critical about it. Because, like, that's a hard, like, theme to have for your movie. Because it's like, why is this person doing this? What is she, stupid? I was like, no, she's depressed. She knows she's doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, you find out, like, a huge, like, cause of her depression and, like, why she, like, hates herself so much. And it's like, Jesus, that is rough. And it's, like, it's an actual thing that happens to, like, a lot of people. Like, it's an actual, like, medical thing that's, like, kind of unknown. And it's just super cool.
Okay.
I'm surprised I'm talking about this. I'll be very vague about it because there's a lot I could spoil about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, so you, like I said, because the thing I'm interested, like, is like I saw this as like a character thriller drama thing, like this character who is kind of off hinge, and we don't know much about her. So, and you mentioned that there were twists and turns and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
like, is it interesting as this character like thing? I don't know. It's called The Girl on the Train. I assume that the girl on the train is a very interesting character.
Yeah, like I was saying before, while Blair Witch doesn't really establish its characters like super well, they're pretty two-dimensional. But in The Girl on the Train, I almost said God Girl on the Train. She is like fully developed. Like, you know everything that's going on in her head.
Also, is that comparison fair? Is it a fair comparison?
Yeah, it's fair
Oh,
comparison.
to Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Gone Girl on the Train.
Yeah.
I mean,
it tries to do a lot of the same things.
it's less about missing girl and more about...
Well, yeah, I know, but like I'd say, like the thing of Gone Girl, like this character who like we don't know as much as she lets on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
you start to question her, and you question things that she says and things that other people are saying. So there's a lot of mistrust in this movie.
Okay.
But
A lot of miscommunication going on.
Is it as sexy as Gone Girl? Gone Girl's pretty sexy.
It's not as sexy.
well, there's a lot of butts.
There's a lot of butt boated in the woods.
Okay.
I get to give like 2 occasions where that happened. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I just remembered another scene in this movie that was messed up. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really like short, small scenes that are like, oh, geez, that's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder these characters are all so depressed and hate themselves. Jeez. Yeah, I would recommend it.
Okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it's like a 44%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say like 70. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't like giving like solid ratings, but
Just scores out there.
yeah.
Carrie, you got anything to say?
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's hard to get Gone Girl out of your head, though, and I really, really like Gone Girl.
Gone Girl's such
so.
a goddamn fucking good movie. Holy
But
shit, man.
Emily Blunt, I think she brings it in this movie. Like, she's very, very disturbing at parts and very convincingly just devastated and broken at other parts. Just like,
But very sympathetic.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
care. Like, it just breaks your heart when you just see her doing this.
Because, yeah, like, she's very, very relatable. She has a lot of, like, very small things that anyone can relate to. And it's just, it's great. It's a
Okay.
great movie. I call it the Blair Witch of Gone Girl-esque movies.
Nope.
Because Blair Witch was a good movie. All right, guys, moving on.
Can we talk about how I saw Gone Girl and I was like, man, Rosamund Pike's gonna be fucking everywhere because that fucking movie rocked so much. Nothing.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know. I really do not know.
I don't know. What happened? I was like,
I don't know.
she
I
was.
was excited.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah, that Gone Girl. So good.
She was in like a really shitty Gone Girl-esque movie, and that's all I know. Oh.
Like the other movie by the same author?
No, not Dark Places or whatever the
Dark
hell
Places.
that had Charlize Theron and
Oh,
Chloe Grace
yeah.
Moretz and some other people, and it was like direct to DVD or something. And if it wasn't, it was like, well, not good.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So
wasn't that also written by the author?
yeah, that
Yeah.
was also
Gillian Flynn.
Gillian
Gillian
Flynn.
I was
That's-
super interested in that
I don't
because
know.
of that, and I heard it was awful.
But I don't think the
was
movie had anything to do. Like, Gillian Flynn wrote the screenplay for Gone Girl. I don't think Gillian Flynn.
I thought she did for that
I
one.
don't think
too.
she did. No,
Okay.
I think
Well,
because
whatever.
it
Anyway.
different. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it because it didn't. It felt like the Hollywood ass fuck movie. Gone Girl feels like this thing, like really controlled by these like folks. Like, yo, we're making this movie here. But yeah, so that's all the movies we saw. So now let's talk. We're gonna take it's the spooky times. It's the spooky times. It's October.
It's Halloween the 10th or whatever.
Yeah, it's the 10th of Halloween.
Mm-hmm. The 10th
The 10th
Halloween ever.
10th Halloween ever.
So
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's talk about some horror movies. We're gonna talk about some horror movies. Just some quick recommendations. I'm gonna start because I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what I want to recommend here. The Loved Ones. So this is an Australian horror movie that came out in 2009, and I completely forgot about it until I was scrolling through, and I was like, what am I going to recommend? I can just be boring like every other dude and be like, Cabin in the Woods, maybe you heard of it. And I was like, ah, shit.
Trick or Treat, it's a good one.
Maybe you heard of it. That was a good one. It
The
followed.
Exorcist, best movie
Classic
ever.
movie. But yeah, I stumbled upon this movie and I can hardly remember it. But then I was like, well, let me like think about it. And I was like, yeah, that was a damn good movie. Australian horror movie about this this daughter and this father. Who the father, they're both kind of crazy out of their minds. And it's like this sort of like, I don't know, daddy's girl thing taken to just the horror movie level, right? Like it feels kind of like a cheesy 80s horror movie. It's like she and her dad are best friends. But she'll like, you know, like that weird narrator who's all like, there's this, you don't know about her. Sally has got this secret or whatever. Like this kind of it's super Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I rewatched the trailer and I was like, this is just Texas Chainsaw Massacre about this like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's the son who's misunderstood and kind of crazy, and this family who like takes care of him. Like, no, he's completely normal. You just don't fucking understand him. Fuck you. Fuck your shit and fuck all your kind of people. You understand our special boy. It's this kind of movie again. Like the father's like, you don't understand my daughter. She gets whatever she wants because she's wonderful and nobody loves her. Whatever the hell. And she wants to go to the prom with this cool kid, and the kid's like, that ain't me. And she's all like, well, I'm gonna fuck you up. And so they have this, again, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she kidnaps him. They have this dinner scene, straight up from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where just crazy stuff happens. Like, he's held hostage, and they just kind of go nuts on him, and like staple, like put nails on his feet, and torture him, and just act really weird. And it sounds really cheesy when I'm saying it, but it really works, because it's easy to be like, I mean, it almost goes. Do you guys know about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The New Generation with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey?
No, I can unfortunately say I have not seen the
Because that movie
McConaughey.
again, that was a reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Was that Texas Chainsaw?
That was Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, or whatever the hell. And it came,
Oh, jeez.
I need to show you clips from that. But my point is that it's easy when you have this sort of like crazy like outback folks to like really ham it up and not make it scary, and it just removes you completely. And I think this movie really like nails it in a way that, no, this is actually scary, and I believe this, and I'm actually committed. Where something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, nope, not even close. Holy hell, man! Matthew McConaughey, that was like their first like big role for both of them.
That was Matthew McConaughey's starring role.
Well, yeah. So they're going on a tangent. That movie, they filmed that movie like in the mid '90s, and then they became kind of famous, and then they tried to keep it from ever coming out. And then Sony eventually released it, like, later.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
That's the real massacre.
It's really bad. It's really fucking bad. It's horrible. In the best way. Like, Matthew McConaughey has, like, some Nicolas Cage moments of, like, just fucking losing his fucking gourd. It's insane. But yeah, I'm gonna recommend The Loved Ones. It's a modern take on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I didn't realize it when I saw it, but now thinking about it, it's so clearly Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a way that I don't even like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, whatsoever, but I really like this movie. So yeah, I mean, we mentioned that I was going to throw out some other easy suggestions. What are some other things I can throw away? You're next. Let's talk about You're Next. We'll talk about a better movie than Blair Witch, made by the same director.
Well, here we go again.
Real quick, You're Next is just a movie directed by the guy who directed Blair Witch. It's a sort of a, I don't know, home invasion kind of thing, I guess you would call it. You've seen...
Yeah,
right?
I watched it with you guys because we were trying to get it for Redbox, and Redbox didn't have it, and then there was the whole hoopla of us trying to buy it on Amazon or something, but I don't remember most of it.
Right.
I know that I liked it.
Yeah, it's just this, like, movie, but, like, they're at this family dinner party, and someone attacks them, and then you realize that there is stuff going on amongst the family, and it's really good. And actually, you know what? Maybe you should go watch Cabin in the Woods if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods. Go watch Cabin in the Woods. I don't know. We didn't spoil that. We spoiled 10 Cloverfield Lane, though. So...
Man, that movie
That was going to be my
crazy.
recommendation, Ryan!
Oh, no!
So, Carrie, you want to talk about As Above, So Below? I'm surprised it didn't come while we were talking about Blair Witch, because we were both like, that was a way better, similar found footage movie.
Well, because after you mentioned that when we were leaving the theater the first time we saw Blair Witch, I was like, yeah, I like As Above, So Below. And I bought it when it came out on DVD because it's got a really cool case. And
it's got a really cool art.
I'm an idiot like that, and I'm like, packaging, heck yeah, that'll look great on my shelf. And then as I watched it more, I was like, I like this movie. Because it does have a very similar setup, which you could say about lots of movies.
Yeah, sure.
Of this, along this vein, where it's like, documentary subject.
There's this thing that's an urban legend or whatever.
Yeah, documentary subject with her love interest goes to
this guy
is led by the locals
right.
to investigate this supposedly evil haunted place.
And then at some point they're like, we're not going this far, man.
But what this movie does is it throws in Harry Potter. It throws in National Treasure.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
Because because when you watch the trailer, you're like, well, they're in the catacombs, but why? And then when you watch the movie, well, they're looking for the Philosopher's Stone, obviously. Yeah. So there's all this fun, like, what's the word for it? The magic people. Then there's like all this history from that, but It's even got a tunnel scene similar to the Blair Witch where the guy gets trapped on the bones.
Yeah, totally. That's what I was thinking. The guy who gets trapped, and then that was like, I think like that scene worked, but it was the opposite. Like it wasn't as
quiet
as the
and
one.
And it's just like, give me a book.
And then the girl's like, calm down. You need to calm down. And he's like, what the fuck? You telling me to calm down? But yeah, so basically it's these characters, and this girl is trying to continue her father's work looking for the Philosopher's Stone, trying to prove that he's not crazy. And as her and this troop of people enter the catacombs in France, shit starts to get real, and they're facing stuff from their past and their own life, and they're trying to figure out why, and they're trying to escape after the turning point of the movie.
Right. And like Blair Witch, the last moments really get interesting. Well, I think the whole film works As Above, So Below, because I also really like I mentioned, like, I think everything leading up to the end works very well. Like, the scary moments work very well, I think. And I don't know what it is, but, like, that scene with the guy getting trapped there, you feel it. I don't know, maybe it's the setting they're in?
Maybe.
The setting is very scary, and
the catacombs and tunnels,
and it's not very. It's pretty well lit, to be honest with you. It's pretty well lit.
Well, I mean, because this one you feel more trapped, and in Blair Witch you're trapped in the middle of this wide expanse that's inescapable.
Right.
So it's similar but different.
Right, because you're in this tight space.
Different feelings inside you, but I just really like because this movie does have a lot of cheese moments in it, but some of the stuff, like each person kind of has their own moment, and a lot of the moment, like the payoff scare moment, and a lot of them are just brutal and strange and absurd, and I just love that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But
right, like it goes to a place that goes really out there, and the thing I think my favorite thing of this movie is like they get to spoilers. Some people survive, and they make it out, and it feels like holy shit, because there's this moment like, oh fuck, we were there. Like this is because it's weird. You immediately go from like this tight space to fucking Paris, like this like people, like it's busy, and fucking what?
They're just on the street covered in like catacomb dust, and then they just part ways, and it's like, whoa!
It works very well. I think it works really good. But people really didn't like that movie. I don't know. I'm not sure why.
I like that movie a lot.
Hey, I don't know. Stuff's weird.
I never saw that movie.
And it does a similar thing. I'm stuck on comparing it to Blair Witch. It does a similar thing with the found footage, where in Blair Witch they had those fucking little earpieces that had cameras on it, and in this they have cameras attached to their headlamps because they're in the tunnel, so it stabilizes it. So there's not a lot of the shakiness that some people have a problem with, but it's just there's some weird fucking things in it, and there.
Especially, I love
moments where it's like, like since we're going into spoilers, like they don't want to go. There's a shorter way to get to where they need to be, but the Papillon, the guy who's guiding them, he's like, no, we can't go through that tunnel. That I know which tunnels go here, which tunnels go here. I know which ones are evil. We're not going in that one, because they had this friend that was lost. And then the friend shows up once they eventually have to go through this tunnel. And he's just a fucking weirdo. He doesn't have headlamps or anything, and he's teleporting all around. And good.
Yeah, it gets really... I really like the end of that. Man, I don't think I want to watch that movie. I saw the trailer. I was like, no, I like that. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that. It's a found footage, a little bit tighter, less theatrical sort of descent sort of thing. Yeah. Ryan, you want to talk about Girl Walks Home Alone, which is a very, very different movie.
It is a very different movie. I think that's why I decided on this over a few others I thought of. So, you got your slasher movie that George recommended. You got your more
found footage thing.
Mm-hmm. If you want to watch like an indie, like weird horror-esque movie, you should watch A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. So it's a movie.
I mean, it's a vampire movie.
It's an Iranian horror vampire western film. That's how it's described. And it's all about this Iranian ghost town called Bad City. It's a very, everything's very hip. And the town is being destroyed by drugs and crime and, oil rigs just, polluting the air. And everyone in this city is, a criminal. They're, bad people. And then you have this girl, and she's walking home alone. It's usually nighttime when the film takes place. And she's a vampire, and she basically just runs around and kills people who are doing messed up stuff. And that's pretty much it. It's just awesome. Later on the line, she runs into this character. I'm forgetting his name.
Was the character with the father who has a heroin addiction or whatever the hell?
Yeah.
Like I said, I can barely remember.
His name is Arash.
Yeah.
And he's kind of depressed and lonely because he's living in this messed up town.
And he has a bike, right? Isn't that what there was?
He has a car. He has a sports car that
he really likes.
That he really liked because he worked super hard and didn't go through the life of crime and drugs to get what he wanted. So he earned this car, and later it gets stolen from him. And the girl kind of gives that car back to him, and it's a huge moment. And there is a bit of a love story there. But then, it goes into a very weird place towards the end where it's okay, I want to be with you, but you're...
A vampire?
He doesn't know she's a vampire.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Thing. It's not super... There's no moment where he's oh, you're a vampire. And she's I need your blood to live, bro. All that, all the stuff in every other vampire romance movie, including the worst ones. Which we'll not talk about on this podcast.
I don't know which one you could be referring to, actually.
Talking
I'm
about...
not sure. What was it?
I actually don't know. I'm actually not being ostentatious here.
So yeah. and then they just kind of it's set up like a western, like your classic western, where it's like the good guy rolls into this messed up town and kind of like solves all the wrongs. But it's not like a huge like event. It's mostly just like some very isolated incidents where she comes in and fixes it by eating them. So it's cool.
From the movie, it doesn't seem like there's some giant elaborate like thing like the drug man guy has this fucking thing and she's like, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna bust this thing, and it explodes.
No, because it's very quiet. There's very little dialogue in the movie. It's mostly just like these character movements and moments, and there's a lot of like super interesting stuff with the vampire lore. Like when she like sees someone at night, like there's a sequence where someone keys a car and they start walking away and she starts following them from on the other side of the road, and she's like mimicking their movements like an animal would to like kind of freak them out. So like they move towards her, she like reflects what they're doing. They like do this stuff, and she does just to like freak people out, just so they know like, hey, don't do this, I will kill you. But she doesn't like outright say it, because it's like, of course you're this creepy girl and you're wearing all black, you're freaking me out, you little hipster little lady, you. And then and there's also another cool scene where she just threatens this child who like he's just a child, and
I remember this,
and she just like runs up and like is like, are you, oh, it's so good, I'm just losing myself, I really like this movie. She just threatens this child and is like, if you do anything bad, I will find you and I will kill you. And he's just like loses his mind, and like runs away, and she steals his skateboard, and then the vampire girl is like skating through Iran, and it's awesome. It's so cool. There's a lot of like cool stuff with imagery, and it's all in black and white too.
Yeah,
and it's all in I forget the name of the language, but the Iranian language. So there's subtitles, Carrie. Get over it. She's giving me a dirty look.
No, I was like, I don't know what the name of the language is either, so I'm just going to be ignorant over here quietly.
Is it Arabic?
I don't think that's the name
of
the language.
So, Ryan, my thing, because I saw most of this, I think I got to the point of this, I fell asleep with this movie at the point where it's going to start picking up, like stuff's actually happening. I got to the point where, like, I remember there's a murder, and then...
Was it the drug dealer?
Yes, I think that's... No... There was another one. I don't remember. Like, the guy meets with the girl. That's what I remember. And that's when I blacked out. I don't remember anything. Where does that go somewhere that's actually, like, interesting? Like, or does that even matter? It's more about this, like, character who's, like, on this cool thing. I'm gonna like, help you out. And then
it's not like Let the Right One In, where, like, they're dependent on each other for a different reason, because they're both dependent characters already. They just decide like, hey, I want to be with you because I'm lonely. They're not like they don't need each other for specific reasons. I'm trying to remember exactly what point you're talking about, because they have like a few like interactions.
It's been a while. When this movie came out, what, 2014, I think?
I believe so. It came out
I think it was 2014.
It was 2014.
Okay, yep.
The language is Persian. That's pretty obvious, actually.
Good job, us.
Good job, us. Now that I think about it. So yeah, basically it's all about because the main character Arash, he later like kind of like becomes a drug dealer after a certain event, and he like kind of like gets into this bad life, and he realizes that, oh, I have all this money and cool stuff, and I'm still not happy. And then that kind of escalates with like him having it out with his father, and then his father does some pretty messed up stuff, and then there's a cat.
Yeah, I remember
the cat. Pretty cool cat.
I remember the cat.
I don't want to spoil it. And now I'm leading into myself spoiling the entire movie.
I think you covered it, like what it is. It's like, yeah, I guess I would describe it like this sort of like Western thing. This person who comes into town, and then she's like, yeah. It's also definitely, I would say, compared to our movies are definitely more of a party sort of movie. Yours is definitely.
If you want to watch a very like serious movie,
it's late at night. Can't go to sleep or something. Like it's whatever. I'm watching a movie. That's a good movie to watch.
This is a.
Except I watched it way too late and I fell asleep. And also, I wish I watched it in a movie theater because I felt like I lost a lot.
That would have been a good movie to watch in the theater. It's on Netflix still, I think, and I would
probably.
Another great scene in that movie is, I think you saw it when she goes to the drug dealer's house, like the main drug dealer.
I think I remember this. Yes.
Like he kind of, because he's this like suave guy with all these tattoos. He has the word just sex tattooed on his neck because he's a badass.
I remember this.
No, it's like how like American people get like the Japanese word for tree on their arm to like feel cool, but he does the same thing.
Sex neck.
Sex neck. Yeah, it's awesome. And like he invites her to the house because he's like, oh, I'm gonna have sex with this woman. I'm so badass. And he like does all this ridiculous stuff to like impress her. Like he snorts cocaine, starts working out, and like grinds the wall with like electro music playing because he thinks he's cool.
Yeah, so that's
and then the girl just walks up and just freaking eats him. It's amazing.
Yeah, so that part, that I don't know. That was the part of the movie I was like,
cool.
this is getting pretty conceptual and surreal for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
I for some reason remember that part feeling very bizarre. Like, what is going on?
It's a very bizarre scene. That's why I love it so much.
This is weird.
That's a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Do we have any other
Yeah,
short...
just throw it out.
Throw it out there.
It'd be like, boom, there it is. Watch
my favorite horror movie of all time is Let the Right One In. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's pretty good.
That's a good. I still haven't seen that movie.
It's pretty good.
I just watched Cell last night. If you're a fan of 1408, which I know everyone in this room is, check it out. There's an amazing scene where
it's a bad movie.
1408 is a great movie. I don't know what you're talking about, but there's a scene in this movie. I really want to talk about it just quickly. Cell phones turn people into zombies.
John Cusack and Samuel
Jackson. As they're traversing the country, they come upon this boys' private school, and there's only one student and the headmaster left. And at night, they call them phoners, the people who have been affected by the cell phones, and they power down and just like are reconnecting to the hive mind and getting updates and stuff. And the headmaster put all of these 12 to 15-year-old boys on the football field, and they're like, at night they just play music, and the song that they have all their phones on them, and the phones are all playing music, and it's that song that that song
from
Insidious?
the internet memes.
No, not
the
one with the Russian guy walking around. It's like,
I think I know. I might know.
It's amazing. So they're all blasting that, and then they're like, we have to kill all of them, burn them. And so John Cusack is driving around with this tanker full of jet fuel, spraying all of the bodies with jet fuel. And then, in true Stephen King fashion, the tire of the truck gets stuck on a young boy's head, and he has to, like, rev it and try and get over the head. Good. Excellent. Check it out.
Was that direct-to-video?
It was. I don't think it was in theaters or anything anywhere. I remember it coming out on Amazon Video a while ago, and I just bought it on TBT.
You bought it, huh?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
If you haven't seen the Darknet TV show, that's been taken off of Netflix, and you should get to that.
How the fuck do you watch it then?
I don't know. You need to watch it before it gets taken off of Netflix.
You gotta go to the dark parts of the internet.
Oh, jeez. That's a good show.
That was a Canadian show.
That was a Canadian show.
And I have no idea how you
Super
watch it.
Channel.
No.
Yeah. Over the Garden Wall. That's another TV show. It's not scary because it's a cartoon, and it's like a 12-episode miniseries, but it's like perfect like Halloween theme, and then towards the end there's a little bit of horror, and because it's so cutesy and like sweet, the horror really messes with you.
It's just like, oh god.
Like a child would be watching this and be like, ha ha ha, but as an adult I'm like, oh.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a great. I'm watching that again soon because it's like puts you in the holiday spirit and then destroys your soul.
Let's see, anything else? Real quick, Sick Girl. Sick Girl's a movie about these two awkward lesbians, and it gets very bizarre, very weird and gross, and it's very good. If you want to watch something very bizarre and gay, watch Sick Girl. It's very good.
Those are my two favorite types of films.
It's
bizarre and gay.
It's a bizarre movie. It's weird. It's very weird. But anyways, moving on. Let's talk about October. Let's talk about
a lot of great films.
Once again, I don't know how we're gonna. There's nothing out there. There's this movie about a toy named Max Steel, and I heard of him at one point in my life, and I know nothing about him now, and he just looks like the Amazing Spider-Man, but it's like
it's Robot Boy.
It's Robot Boy.
Jeez, I don't know anything about this.
Let's start with Birth of a Nation. This comes out October. That's already out by this point. So what this is, I already forgot the Nat Turner? Is that?
Nat Turner, yeah.
Nat Turner's the actor. It's based on a true story of this slave preacher who, I guess because he was a preacher, they used him to preach to other slave owners' slaves and kind of keep them in line, sort of, in a very, dumb way, because it's like, oh, he's black, they'll listen to him, sure, we'll tell him what to say, because he's not going to fuck with us, and then it all works out. and then he organizes a rebellion, and it's supposed to be really good. And it also has the name of Birth of a Nation, which is an incredibly racist and important movie.
It's very important in terms of like what it did for the art of cinema, but it's very, very racist.
Very racist. Very racist.
Like its technical achievements, good.
Its
message, not as good.
Not as good. I would say it's pretty down there.
And I think it's weird that it took someone this long to flip that movie on its head, like the idea of that movie on its head. Like it feels like a thing that would have been done like forever ago.
The movie did This movie, the new one, did very well at Sundance. So like, there's a lot of hype around that. Mm-hmm. So I hope it does good.
The Birth of a Nation reboot.
Birth of a Nation reboot. Hollywood's always messing us up. Mm-hmm. I miss my old
this time less racist.
I can't believe they're ruining my childhood by remaking Birth of a Nation.
That movie was perfect as it was. Everything about it was flawless, especially the racism. It's so racist. It's also like 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's fucking dumb.
And there's an intermission, right?
Yeah, there's an intermission.
Man, those were the good days.
Anyways, Max Steel. We talked about Max Steel. I didn't know who Max Steel was until... Well, I've heard the name of Max Steel.
I haven't. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure Max Steel... This is like the second or third time Max Steel's been rebooted. I'm pretty damn sure... Maybe I'm thinking of Action Man. Actually, no, I'm thinking of Action Man.
Well...
Sorry. Maybe
Max Steel.
No, Max Steel someone Google
You're thinking of Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
Max Steel has existed before the year 2010. Whatever. Max Steel, based on a Mattel toy.
My last Google search was Smirnoff. What was I doing?
Max Steel.
Right. I think it was obvious what you were doing.
I was riding on the train trying to figure out where I could get some more vodka.
Max Steel, he's this boy. And then his dad was a scientist or whatever. And then his dad probably dies, and he left him with this robot friend. Probably, I don't know. Turns out he's got superpowers, and the robot friend's like, "You got superpowers. There's this evil force. We gotta stop it, kid. Oh man, you're a teenager. This is gonna be wacky and crazy. I can't wait for this adventure." And they go on an adventure, I assume, and he looks like a robot man, and that's Max Steel. Fuck as hell. Oh my god. Yeah, Max Steel exists before 2000. The verdict's still out.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Ben Affleck's The Accountant. It's a boring movie that takes place in an office. Just one shot of him working on his computer.
Very handsome, though.
Very handsome man. Working on his computer for 2 hours. The movie cost $45 million to make.
The climax is him, like, clenching his jaw. It's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. The climax is him punching out his card as he leaves.
Credits.
So,
wow, that was amazing. Wow.
So apparently, The Accountant is about Ben Affleck plays this sort of a mathematician, like this math prodigy or whatever, but he's also
an accountant.
Well, he's also an accountant, but he also has like this sort of like hard time relating to people. He can't like converse, or like he's just like very distant, I guess, or whatever.
Antisocial personality,
and I guess he's an accountant for a bunch of illegal like drug smugglers and like just a bunch of bad people. And I guess at some point it finally catches up to him, and he's not letting it catch up to him. Like he's not letting the FBI bust him or whatever. And I don't know. I guess it's like Falling Down, except if Michael Douglas was always a bad guy. I don't really know. Man, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Ben Affleck, he's a math man, and then he shoots people. I don't know.
So it's like Batman v Superman.
No. We saw this trailer, and I honestly was like, I don't know. How did this pitch work? Ben Affleck is an accountant, but not really, I guess.
An accountant with a dark past.
You see, this is going to deceive a lot of people. They're going to think they're watching an accountant movie. That's this action thriller. They're like, oh, that was not what I wanted.
These hordes of people have just been waiting for that accountant
Not
movie.
even that. The Accountant sounds like a drama or like some sort of Oscar-nominated film. It doesn't sound like an action movie.
How do you know this won't be nominated for like every Oscar?
Every single one.
Oscar. Best musical goes
Best supporting actress, Ben Affleck.
Woo! Similar to that is Jack Reacher, which I had no idea they were making any Jack Reacher movie because I thought the first Jack Reacher movie bombed, and that was like forever ago.
I thought there were multiple Jack Reachers.
There's only one. There's a lot of books of Jack Reacher.
Okay.
Tom Cruise is back as Jack Reacher. He's a cop on the edge who's unstoppable.
Would you say his mission's pretty impossible? Jokes, I got them.
And that's really all I got. Again, because I saw this trailer to gain some knowledge from it, and I was like, it's the most fucking action movie ever. Jack Reacher's like, yo, man, this guy came out and he beat up a bunch of guys. He's still over there. I was like, okay. And then the cops go over there. He's like, you're going to have to go with me, sir. And he's like, in 2 minutes, the phone's going to ring. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to be in handcuffs. And I'm taking you down, buddy. And then the phone rings, and he's in handcuffs, and he takes him down. And he's like, I'm Jack Reacher. He's like, you did it again, Reacher. God damn it. And I was like, fuck this movie.
It's such a dude broy looking movie. Like it looks
Not
like,
even like it's like the most boring like.
Well, yeah, it tries like we need a hardcore guy to take down these cops who are just doing their job. Get me Tom Cruise on the phone right now.
Tom Cruise, a payphone, handcuffs. You won't believe what happens next. Tune in.
And I couldn't tell if he was a
Beat
rogue.
them up? No.
I couldn't tell if he was a rogue agent. I couldn't tell if he was a rogue agent.
Doesn't matter.
I guess not. I couldn't tell if he was working with some sort of organization to take someone else down, or if he's a rogue agent and they're trying to take him down. But
What if it's both?
Because then that would be very, very close to Mission Impossible.
The sequel just like it just builds.
No one
up.
likes him, and he doesn't like anybody.
Let's move on. I forgot Ouija was on this list. This is the horror movie, huh?
This is
Halloween.
the horror movie of Halloween.
Well, yeah, because Paranormal Activity is dead, apparently.
Yeah.
Brains was delayed for the 8th time.
I
Not
just
a-
want to get that movie over
It's
with.
not a real movie. It's ephemeral. It's
So now
nothing.
this is the only horror movie coming out in October.
I was
It's
excited
so
to talk
weird.
about Rings on this podcast because that trailer looks like a fucking adventure.
Well, you can wait until February 2017, Carrie. So Ouija, one of the
You
worst
remember
horror
Ouija,
movies
right?
I've ever seen. But it did extraordinarily well for no reason.
Because it's a
The
fucking
marketing was-
Halloween movie.
And the marketing was
I don't
very...
care. It was made by
No,
Hasbro.
Like, I know, but you are not gonna fail if you put out a horror movie around
then
Halloween.
why does no one else do this?
No. The marketing was very good. I will give it to these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
The marketing was great for this movie.
Anyway, Ouija, Origin of Evil.
I deeply, deeply recommend Ouija. It's no screw the girl walks up at night. Ouija is the movie you should watch for October, and then firmly kill yourself because it is terrible.
Kill yourself with a vengeance.
With the vengeance, yeah. It's so boring, and it's so.
It's like the most... We made this an assembly line.
It's like. It's just like they find a Ouija board and there's a ghost in their house. That's it. That is it.
No, but then Lin Shaye shows up.
Yeah, I was saying,
I don't care. Lin Shaye shows up in every other
I think
movie.
that this movie is gonna be like Lin Shaye's backstory of how she ends up in the. I think.
I don't care.
That's my guess. Well, it's Origin of Evil, and
You know what the origin of this evil was? Carrie Hasbro was like, let's sell a toy and just spoke out the little kitties. And then everyone will think, oh, Ouija boards are a real thing and not manufactured as a toy.
Excuse me.
Carrie, they're not real.
But to be fair, I think this movie looks better than the first Ouija.
But does that say a lot?
It says... I think it looks like
That's like saying that dog turd is not nearly as big as that dog turd. That's a great thing. That's a
Here's
chihuahua
the thing.
over there.
The thing with Ouija is that it was so... It felt like it was made by robots. This feels like it was made by people. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the gallows was also made by a group of people. And we all know how that turned out.
Oh, well, that's the other... Like, you're taking the other direction. Okay, Gallows is a shit, garbage fuck movie. Ouija is a
I
bad...
recommend it strongly.
Ouija is a bad, boring, blah movie that comes from a Hollywood system. Okay? Like, there's difference. I don't think... This Ouija might be bad shit movie. I wouldn't say Ouija's a bad shit movie. I'd say, like, it's the most... It's so forgettable, it's not even worth mentioning any effort or anything.
But like
You're the one going off all ham, motherfucker.
because I know this is going to be the next horror thing. There's going to be a Ouija movie
No, there's
every
not.
other
No,
year.
there's not. No, there's not. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
The first one did extraordinarily well.
Sure, yeah.
They have this one, and then it's going to do great.
No, it's not.
Probably.
It's gonna go down.
Even
I
if
don't
it,
know. I mean, this is the only horror movie we have on this list.
Sure.
yeah, and people are going to watch a horror
don't
movie.
think-
And apparently, no one's going to watch
There
Blair Witch because it's trash.
There are troves of people who go out to movies in October because they're like, well, we gotta go to a scary movie.
I still think that this movie is trying to be good. I think.
But it looks like it's just the Ouija, but set in the past.
No.
I do like the like would you say it's like a 60s-ish feel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that feel, and I like the
60s feel.
shut up. I like the idea of her being a fake medium person, and then some real shit starts happening, and she's like, well, I'm not actually qualified to deal with this, so... But it takes me out of it every time in the trailer when the little girl makes that ghost face, because it's so fucking stupid looking, but I don't know. The CGI face looks
I don't know.
stupid.
It feels like they're genuinely trying something here, and
This is gonna be George's 2016 Blair Witch. He's gonna come back and be like, guys, why do you hate this movie?
It was genius. There was a Ouija board, and she looked through the circle thing.
She looked through the planchette, and she saw the evil lady.
The ghost was actually a good guy. Whoa! Oh, let's talk about a real horror movie.
Sure, Ryan. I would love... Ryan, you fucking take this movie and talk about it. What is this movie you're talking about?
Boo! The Madea Halloween. I don't know anything about the Madea movies. I watched like one episode of Meet the Browns or House of Pain. One of them I don't remember. It was like many years ago. I think Madea was in that episode. Actually, no, Madea was in that episode. I thought it was very weird because I didn't know they were like part of the same universe. I thought it was just Tyler Perry's
show.
And then, as we all know, a Madea movie comes out, like, out of nowhere, it feels, every once in a while.
Actually, every once in a while is good. I was going to roast you for saying every time, because it's been a while, actually. It's been a while. It used to be, like, every other year, The last one was with Eugene Levy, and she was in the Witness Protection Service.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last one, I think.
But now we got Boo, the Madea. And from the trailer, it looks like she's actually, like... fighting ghosts or something, that it's so weird.
Okay, so there are two horror movies.
There are two horror movies, yeah. Although, do you remember hearing, I don't think this went off, but there was a movie where it was going to be Madea Goes to Space. Like, apparently, like,
I don't keep track of the Madea news, I'm sorry.
I just remember hearing a headline or an article somewhere where Tyler Perry really hated a, like, space movie that came out, and he was like, out of spite, I'm going to write a movie where Madea goes to space. And I guess that didn't happen because we're getting Madea fights ghosts. I guess he really hated the Ghostbusters reboot. I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like these movies are like they're not making as much as they used to, which is why we don't see them that much.
Probably not.
I had a point and I forgot what it was.
These movies do very well, though, don't they? I don't know exactly their numbers.
They did at one point. They were huge.
They did at one point, yeah.
I don't think why would Lionsgate stop making them? At some point, they fell off.
But now they're coming back.
What was the first movie? What was his first movie? What was it? It was the one with the woman.
Madea.
No, not Madea. Madea was not the main character. It was about something. Fuck, what is it called?
I don't know the Tyler Perry.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That movie is good. I like Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I think that's a genuine good movie. That's a fine movie.
And then it spun into Madea Madness.
Right, because she was, Tyler Perry, like, it was about this woman who was, like, with this rich husband, and she cheats on him, and then, that's all it is. It's fine. And I don't know. I'm surprised that the new Madea movie is coming out, mostly because I didn't see it coming. I usually see this thing coming. Because they're usually marketed very well, and I don't know. I don't think these movies make that much money anymore, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Let's talk about Inferno.
Inferno.
Man, why do they keep making these Dan Brown movies? I don't...
They always come out at a weird time. Like, Angels and Demons came out, like, way later.
It was a weird time.
Anything out.
I never saw that one. I need to go pick that up. I
Like,
remember because when Da Vinci Code came out, when did that come out?
2004 or 5.
Yeah, when that came out on DVD, I asked for that for Christmas that year because I was a strange child, and then I watched it with my family, and I was like, I don't know what I was expecting, but this is weird. And now it has a special place in my heart. Oh, okay. So I need to follow up with this movie.
I'm saying, like, the gaps between them are so long, and I don't think anyone's dying for these fucking movies.
And plus, like, they have no, like, title to, like, string them together. I remember when Angels and Demons came out, I had no idea that it was before I saw it that it was the Da Vinci Code sequel, and I was like, oh. And then when I saw the trailer for Inferno, I was like, is this the Da Vinci Code?
He's like, yes, it is.
No, I was next to you because I hadn't seen the trailer for Inferno yet, and Angels and Demons just was not on my brainscape, so I was just like, they're making another Da Vinci Code! And then I lost my fucking mind, and I was explaining the plot of Da Vinci Code to Riot, and I was like, she's related to Jesus, Riot!
She's the Holy Grail. Right? That was the thing?
I don't remember.
She was the Holy Grail. It's got Amelie.
I don't remember anything about Da Vinci Code or Angels and Demons.
It's got Ian McKellen.
It does have Ian McKellen.
He's all like,
I must have wiped them from my
painting.
mind.
Look at it again. And what if we move this piece of the painting over here?
Guess what?
It's like those
Map
those
to the Statue
No,
of
it's
Liberty
like
right
those-
there. That's where the treasure is.
those fucking what's the it's like those Illuminati videos where they like zoom in
okay.
on a triangle.
No, yeah, totally. That was like the Illuminati. Like that's,
But yeah, but Ian McKellen's doing that to the Last Supper. He's
Actually,
like, what?
are we
But look at that, mate.
Are we 100% sure that the Illuminati isn't actually 100% the bad guy in that movie? Like, I'm pretty. Some part
I
of me
don't
feels
remember.
like the Illuminati is actually exactly who the bad guys in that movie was. I don't know, man. It's got Amelie in it. This one does not have Amelie in it. It's got
Felicity Jones.
Tom Hanks.
That's close to Amelie. Sure. Angels and Demons didn't have Amelie either.
But they all have Tom Hanks, right?
They do all have Tom Hanks in it.
Yeah, I was
Tom
waiting.
Hanks
I was waiting
cinematic
for
universe.
Tom Hanks to show up in that Polar Express sequel that we saw this month. But he wasn't
That's
there.
crazy.
No.
The Train Cinematic Universe. Every movie with the
Okay,
train
so
in it.
here's the thing, guys. We have to commit to watch some of these movies because we need to talk about. Hey, here's the thing. We have a movie podcast and we got to talk about stuff. So we're gonna watch.
Boo.
Ouija. No, Ouija. We're gonna watch Ouija. Okay. And I swear to God, if we go like, if it's bad, that's fair. I'm just telling you. I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay.
Whatever.
I think it's gonna be more interesting than Blair Witch. That's just me.
I
Well,
hate you so much.
And I'm not even saying it's spite. I genuinely think it's gonna be
I
more
am.
interesting. I genuinely think it's gonna be more interesting.
Carry friendship over again.
no, me and Ryan had a very cathartic yelling session in Alex's car on the way home from Girl
I
on
think-
the Train about Blair Witch, and I think our friendship has been repaired. Slightly.
I think we need
I
to
hate
see.
you.
I think we need to see Inferno. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Oh, jeez.
We need to see Inferno.
That means I have to rewatch those other two movies
No,
that I really
you
don't want
don't.
to.
No, you don't, dude. He's just like, you are the guy. You're the fucking knowing
I
man.
have to watch Da Vinci Code. I have to watch Angels Demons. I have to watch Sully. Because that's the timeline, right?
No.
What?
Boy, we need to wrap this fucking trash podcast up. I gotta tell you what.
I want to talk about Boo a little bit
No.
more.
Sorry we didn't see a lot of movies this month.
We recommended a lot of good stuff, but
Yeah.
mostly a lot of bad stuff.
Excuse me? Are you saying that 1408 is a bad movie?
Did we talk about that one?
We didn't, but she mentioned Cell, which is
Okay.
tangentially related to it.
It's pretty much the same movie.
So yeah, have a happy Halloween. Be safe out there. Watch a good movie or two.
Watch some spooky, scary movies.
Yeah. For Movies Are Real, I'm George.
I'm Ryan.
Carrie.
Goodbye.
Boo!
Boo!